In the previous class, I had explained the production, short run, long run, equilibrium, and some other things. Now, I am going to explain the production function. What is production function? Production function is a function relationship between the two variables, and there are two variables that are independent and the dependent variable. Here, the production function is the function relationship between the total output Q and the inputs x1 and x2. Here, x1 and x2 are inputs and Q is the output. Inputs means the factors of production that are used to obtain the output Q. And the functional relationship between the between Q and x1, x2 is the production function. There are two types of fixed production coefficient production, two types of production function. One is fixed coefficient production function and other is variable coefficient production function. If the ratio between the two inputs, that is factor and capital and labor, is fixed for the production function, that is 2:1 or 2:1, and it remains 2:1 for the whole time of production, then it is known as fixed coefficient production function. And variable production functions means the inputs ratio between the inputs, that is capital and labor, goes and varies over a period of time, over the period of production, that is known as variable coefficient production function. The fixed coefficient production functions are L-shaped. And now, what is the difference between the short run and the long run? Short run is a period of time where some factors of production is kept fixed, and long run is a period of time where the whole factors of production are kept variable. In the short run, some are fixed and some are variable, and in the long run, all of the factors of production are variable. That is to mean that in the short run, labor is variable, but capital or plant size, capital means the machine and plant size means the volume of the plant or how many lands are used, all are fixed in the short run. But in the long run, the entrepreneur, there may be 2 or 3 entrepreneurs, there may be 2 or 3 plots of lands will be used in the long run, and there may be lot of machines in the long run. So in the long run, all the factors of production are variable, and in the short run, some of them are fixed and some of them are variable. What is total product? If we go on increasing the fixed factor in the short run and the other factor is kept constant, then total product will increase, reaches at the maximum and falls. The amount of production that is obtained by keeping one variable is constant and other is one variable fixed and other variable total product is the total amount of product that is obtained by keeping one input is fixed and another input is variable, is known as the total product. And average product, if we divide the total product by the amount of one input, the fixed variable input, then we get average product. Here the production function is Q is equal to F1, F x1, x2, where Q is the output, X1, X2 is the other inputs. If here one input, here it will be X2 not X, is fixed, and other input X1 is variable, and we get the TP. Here X2 is kept fixed and X1 is variable, and dividing TP by the variable input X1, we get AP. And MP is the difference between the total change in total product divided by the change in one divided by the change in variable input. That is, del TP means change in total product, del X1 means change in variable input. That is, the n plus 1 unit of total product minus nth unit of total product. You can explain it in this way, that 10th unit, the total product by employing 10 units of labor minus total product by employing 9 units of labor. The difference is MP. Next is the law of diminishing returns. It means that when total product go on increasing, reaches at the maximum, the marginal product first increases, reaches at the maximum, then go on decreasing. Here, the stage at which marginal product decreases, it follows the law of diminishing return rule. This type of rule is known as diminishing return, when the marginal product increases, reaches at the maximum, and then decreases. Law of variable proportion. This means the rule at which the total product first increases at an increasing rate, then at a constant rate, then increases at a decreasing rate, then reaches at the maximum, and then falls. And the average and marginal product will also increase, reaches at the maximum, and then falls. The total rule is known as law of variable proportion. Here is an example to explain the rules. When a unit is 1, TP is 1, dividing TP by unit, we get AP 10 and the MP is also 10. When the unit is 2, TP is 26, dividing 26 by 2, we get AP 13. MP is 26 minus 10, nth unit n plus 1 unit minus nth unit, that is, it is 16. Third unit TP 45, AP 15, and MP 45 minus 26, 19. Fourth unit TP 60, AP 60 by 4, 15, and MP 60 minus 45 equal to 15. And if you follow this, if you do this in such a way, we can get that AP decreases, MP also decreases. First AP is 10, then AP continuously increases, reaches at maximum at 15, then decreases. MP, which also increases, reaches at maximum, and then decreases. And we can be surprised to see that the AP and MP are equal at the level when AP is maximum. TP reaches at maximum at in this case it reaches maximum 70. At the maximum position of TP, the MP will be 0. When TP is maximum, the marginal product MP will be 0. And when TP will go on decreasing, the marginal product will be negative or less than 0. Here is the TP curve. It starts from the origin, increases at a increases rate, then at a constant rate, then increases at a decreasing rate, then reaches at the maximum, then falls. The TP follows the law of variable proportions. Here, It is the AP curve or average product curve, which first starts from the origin, go on increasing, reaches at the maximum, then decreases. And here it is the MP curve is the marginal revenue curve, which starts from the origin, increases, reaches at the maximum, then decreases. And after that, it becomes zero at this point. When it intersects the x-axis, it becomes zero. And after that, it becomes negative. Relation between the total product, average product, and the marginal product. Here, TP, here this curve is TP, which is the locus of the points of different production by changing the variable input x1. At the point A, this curve first, we can see that the up to O to A, this portion is convex to the x-axis, and after A, this portion is concave to the x-axis. This means convex means the total product curve is increasing at an increasing rate, and after A, it increases at a decreasing rate, and at the point A, it increases at the constant rate. That means the A is a point of inflection. It is a point at which the curve changes its shape from convex to concave, or from concave to convex. A is the point of inflection. At the point A, the total product increases at a constant rate. That means the marginal is maximum. It can be explained from this figure. Here, this point at the production level OM, total product is increases at the constant rate. The marginal is maximum at the production level OM at this point. The production level less than OM, that is the points left to the point A, the marginal is increasing because total product is increasing at an increasing rate. The point right to the point A, the points that is right to the point A, the marginal decreases because total product increases at a decreasing rate, and at point the total product increases at a constant rate. Therefore, at the point A, marginal is maximum. So the marginal curve starts its journey from point 2, reaches at maximum at the production level OM, then it decreases, We can see here this point C, the total product is maximum, total product curve is maximum. At this point, the marginal product is 0, and after C, the marginal becomes negative. Here, the production level is M2, at which the total product is maximum at C. Here, the production level is M2. We can see that the marginal is 0, and after going to level of production, the marginal decreases. If we join the point B with a straight line to the origin, then we can get a straight line which touches the total product curve at the point B. It means that at the point B, the line OB is tangent to the total product curve TP. The slope of the OB at this point B measures the marginal. So marginal is also measured by the slope of the line which is tangent to the total product curve. So at the point B, that slope of the line OB gives the marginal. And now if we like to get the average, we can join any point on the total product curve with the origin, and the slope of the joining line will give the average. Here O is joined with the point B, and the line OB gives the slope of the average curve, and then the line OB gives the slope of the marginal curve also. So at the production level OM1, we can say that at the point B, average and marginals are equal. So at the production level OM1, we can see that the marginal curve and the average curves are intersected between each other, are intersected at the production level OM1. So at the production level OM1, the marginal and average, both curves intersects each other. So marginal equal to average. So that the point to be marginal equal to average. And if we measure this, join the point O with the point C and point O with the point D, we get the two lines OC and OD, and we can see that the slopes of the line from OB to OC to OD goes on decreasing, is going to be decreased, or the slope of the line goes on decreasing from OB to OC to OD. Here this means the average is maximum at the B, and it goes on decreasing when it goes on decreasing at the production level OM2 and OM3, but maximum at the production level OM1. At the point OM, production level OM, if we join OA, this will also give the average at the point A, and this slope of the line OA is less than the slope of the line OB. So we can say that the OB is the highest level of the average, and in the following figure, we can see the average is maximum at the production level OM1 at this point, which corresponds to the point B, this point, and the production level is OM1. Average is maximum, and at this point we have also seen the average equal to marginal, is equal to marginal. Average is maximum at the production level OM1, then it decreases, but it never becomes 0 or negative. So we can see how the average and marginal product curve, marginal curve is obtained from the total product curve TP. And now we can explain. Now I shall explain the relation between average product and the marginal product. Here the average product curve is this one, and this one is the marginal product curve. It is some case it is becomes light due to the scanning of the picture. So this one is an MP curve, and this one is the AP curve. At the point A, MP is maximum. We can see that both MP and AP both are increasing at the point A. At the production level, at the point A. Now we consider the production level OM0. At OM0, we can see both MP, this one is the MP curve and this one is the AP curve. Both MP and AP are increasing at the production level OM0, and MP is above the AP, means MP is greater than AP. At the production of level OM, MP becomes maximum at the point A, and AP goes on increasing. Here it is. AP increases and MP becomes maximum. At the production level OM1, this one, between M to M1, at the point B, AP becomes maximum, but MP falls and AP equal to MP. At the production level after OM1, this region, the AP falls. MP also falls. This occurs after the production level OM1, that is at the right of the point B. At the right of the point B, both AP and MP falls, but AP curve lies above the MP curve, so we can say that AP is greater than MP. This is the relation between average and marginal. I hope that you all should follow my lecture. If is there any question, please ask me in the next class. Now I am ending my lecture.